It's Vicki. Now that you have learned tubular bead crochet after watching some of my tutorials, you are probably ready to start creating your own tubular bead crochet design. In this tutorial, I will show you how I design my bracelets on my computer using the J-Bead software. When you create a design in the J-Bead software, the bead stringing order is automatically figured for you. There's no need to use grafting paper. J-Bead was written by Damien Brunoit and is completely free to download and use. You can download J-Bead by going to www.jbead.ch. So that's www.jbead.ch. You can also find the download link in the description field of this video. Once you are on the J-Bead homepage, click the download button and select the file for your computer: Windows, Apple, or Linux. Since I have a Windows PC, I'll click Windows. Then press the Save button and the J-Bead setup file will download to your desktop. Then go to your desktop and double-click to install. This is what J-Bead looks like when you first open it. During the tutorial, I will reference this bead crochet design of a bracelet I previously made with the J-Bead software. I'll refer to it as the Rainbow Floral Bracelet. And here's a photo of what it looks like. When you first open J-Bead, the first step is to set up the width of the grafts based on the number of beads you want on each round. My Rainbow Floral Bracelet was crocheted with 5 beads on each round using size 6 seed beads. I'll set up the new design exactly the same by selecting Pattern, Width, and then enter the number 5 and press OK. Notice how the grafts just became more narrower. Next, select the length you want your bracelet to be. My Rainbow Floral Bracelet is 6 inches long. That's about 60 rows, since 10 rows is equivalent to 1 inch. Select Pattern, Height, enter the number 60 for 60 rows, and press OK. Next, we will look at the 3 grafts. They are Draft, Corrected, and Simulation. The draft graph can be used to create your designs in. It also shows the bead stringing order. You start at the top right and read to the left on each row. The draft graph is also useful in showing you what rows you are working on, since it is numbered, and the numbers are in increments of 10. The corrected graph displays a flat illustration of your design. This is the graph I use to make my designs. I prefer to use the corrected graph to create my designs because it is what you see is what you get. For example, the flowers in the corrected graph look the same as the flowers on the bracelet, while the flowers in the draft graph do not. Next is the simulation graph. The simulation graph shows how your design will look in 3 dimensions. You can even rotate it around to see all sides of it by pressing the left or right arrow buttons. Next is the list of beads, which also displays the bead stringing order just like the draft graph. You start from the top left column, read down to the bottom, and then to the top of the next row, and down to the bottom again. I use both the list of beads and the draft graph together when stringing my beads. Above the list of beads diagram is the total number of beads required for the design, and the total is also broken down by individual colors, so you will know the correct amount of beads to purchase when planning your project. Above the beads required for the design is the report with additional information about the design, such as the file name, number of beads in a round, how often your pattern repeats, and the total number of rows. Next, we'll look at the tools in the software. There are a total of 4. The main ones I use are the pencil, fill, and pipette tools. Actually, that's pipette. The pencil tool fills in 1 square on the corrected graph at a time with each click, while on the draft graph you can fill in multiple squares at one time. The fill tool fills in multiple squares at a time on both graphs. To remove the last color entered, you can press the undo button. Or you can click the pencil tool or the fill tool, then the color you want, and then click the square where you would like to change the color. The pipette tool is used when you need to know what color a square is. For example, currently this shade of red is activated on the color chart. So if I want to know which shade of blue this square has in it, since there are 3 different shades of blue on the color chart, I'll click the pipette tool, then the blue square, and as you can see, the activated color on the color chart just changed from the previously activated red to the shade of the blue that is currently in that square. To the right of the tools, where there appears to be only 32 color choices, there's actually more, much more. By right-clicking a color and selecting Edit, you can change it to a new color. I'll right-click pink, then Edit, and select burgundy. And now you can see that pink has been replaced with the color burgundy. So now you're ready to create a design. For your first design, you can start with something simple, such as a solid color with several flowers with leaves. After you finish your design, you can begin stringing your beads onto your thread by following the draft diagram or the list of beads. And again, as I said earlier, I prefer to use both. After you finish your design, you can save it by pressing the File button and Save. Or you can print it. Well, that concludes this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you did, please press the thumbs up button or leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching.